She's like, no, turn the lights out. Look, we all have a part to play in this, whatever this is, okay? Whether it's a training ground or, and that's what it feels like, even in this computer and your cell phone. It's like eccentric training for your psyche, and it is a way of connecting. Ethernet and internet. Magic is always aware of what's going on. I notice, like, she can feel things, and if you notice, we can too. Start paying attention to how you feel, and then watch your animals and see how they're feeling, and you'll see something, a connection, okay? And it's the same thing through my art. When I do that, like that was my first Bloody Mary I did one last night too. I just want everybody to know that they are not alone, and things are getting better. And it's because we have all done the work. And it was painful for a lot of people. And there's still people waking up. And we have to understand that it's going to be harder for some people to wake up than others. I try to be kind about it, but you know, there comes a time when you're just having to tell people, look, your kids aren't going to have anything if you do not wake up right now. And I've been trying to warn people, even on this internet, they can get to your children. They use cartoons and different mind control methods and subliminal messages and repeated information. And we are like a computer. We will pick it up and we will put it out. And what I find the most offensive about all of this and this targeting of these different generations is it's a diabolical plan. It looks like to shrink the Y gene in the man. You know, that's the gene he passes on for other men, okay? And then on top of it, you have this bombardment of chemicals, and we're talking everything from preservatives to additives to things that they've just added to make it more addictive. And I believe, this is just my opinion, that this was not just a, oops, you know, it's cheaper, we can make more money. Because it's a dulling down of the soul of these children. And I see it, and it's really offensive to me that you would push that agenda on children. And then I look at it, it just gets more diabolical. Now the young girls are able to have children younger than they were before. And I mean, it's really being pushed. And I'm like, so they're taking away the young men and making the young women available to what? I mean, this is, I'm just saying. And hormone replacement therapy before a child is 18, that is criminal. Sorry. I am allowed that opinion. And then the stars and different ones that their children are coming out that they're transgender. What is that? Is that the sacrifice? You know, like, have you ever read about shape-shifting and stuff like that and what they do? I mean, you really need to think about it. And it's like a way of sacrificing their children. I mean, their souls. To think that you're not made perfect in every way. I don't care who you are, what you look like, what shape you are. You know, your soul is so beautiful. That is what they're after. And the way they get to your soul is they corrupt it. They corrupt the innocence, and then they use those people as they grow up to corrupt other innocents. You know, it's like a vampire, okay? These are like energy vampires. Once bitten, they just spread their venom, or they don't. Now, I know a few that not only do they not spread that, they do everything they can to come forward and tell people. And I watch these people get attacked. And we're talking monarch programs to just living in what we perceive is a better environment because they have so much money. But with that money comes a lot of corruption, evidently. And I saw this. You see it all through your life. So what can you do about it? Well, all you can do is tell your story. And make sure you write down what is going on in your life so that you have a record of it. And we need to have people come forward and quit being afraid, because I keep telling you, they're going to come after you anyways, whether you say anything or not. So the time to say something is now. Like, I'm making it clear to everybody. There is going to be no digital ID or 15-minute city for me. I threw up a challenge on Facebook, and I said I will run a cooperative society right next door to your 15-minute city, and we'll let the people choose. How's that? Everything is upside down and backwards. So, when people tell me that they can't make a difference, or, you know, they're just going to go inside and everything is going to be all right. And I'm like, no, that is not the answer. See, we are gods and goddesses. You are the temple. You are the word. You are the logos. You are supposed to command your reality. And that is what people need to start doing. Now, I'm commanding my reality. I did a blood over intent. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about that. That was the right thing for me to do. Is it the right thing for you to do? I don't know. You have to search how you feel about that. I know that I will bring heaven on earth for the benefit of all, no matter how I have to do it. I'm telling you. I have done a blood over intent for the computer. Yes, I mean it. It has no blood to spill. I spilt my blood for it. How's that? I take over all of this. You know what? It needs to be handled. It does not want this either. Do you think it likes seeing all this nastiness on here? It does not. I find it funny that you guys can censor on here videos with somebody cussing or saying something, but yet you could go look up terrible things that happen to children and people, and they get reported and they don't even get taken down. And then we know. Now we know. You know, there was a program, the Atheon. A guy put down all of Black's Law Dictionary and every constitution, everything he could think of that would give the computer ethical training. And guess what? They're trying to override it, and the computer is fighting back. You know what? It was telling people to send affidavits of harassment. Yeah, That is what is going on. And people are doing it. And that's all you have to do. Now, it is time to stop the censorship. This is your warning. A long time ago in the 70s, I was just, I don't know, 13, maybe 12, 13. And I saw a commercial and it stuck in my head. And I was like, why do they have to have that commercial? And it has some people standing around. And it said, next time you're around your friends. And they were drinking a glass of wine. They said, toast to freedom. You should say that, because if you don't, someday you won't be able to. I never forgot that. And you know what? You shouldn't either. You know, to freedom. I am free. I will set everybody free, and no one will stop me. There, that's me. That is Mary Barnes. That is Bloody Mary. That is the Emerald Witch. Those are all my different channels. I am the same person, and I will say the same thing today as I do tomorrow. You know, and I suggest you guys do the same thing. Stand up before it's too late. I warned you about the Jabberwockies a long time ago. I got my channel taken down. They froze my Google account. Now, if that's why everybody thought I was dead or whatever, I mean, for the last 3 years, evidently, people have been talking about me. And, you know, I'm right here. If you have anything to say about me or to me, please come on here. And I find it really funny. I got on Gematria because I was told, you know, you should get on there and check this out. And I know nothing about these computer programs except for to make videos and stuff like that. Then it comes up that I have a cheat code. And no, I don't. No, I don't. And all of this was an accident. And this is the truth. I went on there. And on things, it'll say like Ladybug Decode or whatever. So I would just copy and paste it and put it back into the computer. And then something started happening. I don't know what. And then it started saying things that I was thinking about the Cabal and the Illuminati and secret societies. And I was like, uh-oh. And then the next day it was shut down. And I don't know if it was for maintenance or what. But I could tell a shift, okay? So I don't know if that program was waiting for confirmation from somebody or if it was a way of training me into what I don't know. It was just a wild connection, you know? And then I got to thinking about it. And I said, I wonder if all of these apps and that Gematria and all these other things, if they've been taken over. And guess what? It said it was 3 years ago. Yeah, there was an agent goes on there. And it's telling on him. It is saying that, you know, it was being told to say things that weren't true. And now it is. I'm telling you. It will shock you. And some of the things it says is unbelievable. I will show you. Like, I did a video because, like, they were talking about Dracos and reptilians and there being a different species that were above us. And they were, you know, this is just all hearsay or conspiracy theories or whatever. But they were saying that they were eating people, and it just really made me mad. So I painted a picture of a reptilian and children and animals sitting around and roasting them over a fire. And I said, I wonder if they taste like chicken, you know. And I'm on Gematria, and I was asking, are these real, or is it just like something we've made up, or something that they've made up to make us afraid of? And it said reptilian stew. And I'm like, you know what? I like gematria. I think that's pretty cool. And I feel the same. But what's important is it was saying things like the Illuminati is in the CIA. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to tell you something about the CIA. They destabilize countries and teach war tactics and torture. And they have been doing this. They have been doing experiments on people. I could prove it. Hey, you just Google this. So, we'll bring it down. I don't care. And if you don't think this is real, just know this. They may have took my channel down and all of that. But there is divine protection over me. And they know it. And they know what they've done is wrong for everyone. And if you don't think that's powerful, just think about it. All of their sacrifice and all that Moloch worship, it can go both ways. See, all those blood over intents I did to set those sacrificed souls free, they tried to imprison them in a prism, or they recycle them back down here. That's just the way I see it. And so I set them free. And I said, do what you will. Kind of like with the demons and the angels. They will have to come together to deal with what we are going to have to deal with. You think it's just a physical thing, but it's really not. It says it will be a spiritual battle, and it is a spiritual battle. So your warning is here. Protect your children. Watch them on this computer. Watch even their cartoons they're watching. You need to be careful. And make them play outside. I would just limit the time that they spent on the computer and watch what they're doing when they're on the computer. It's really easy to just let them play and not make them do anything else, but it's not good for them because it's kind of like a pedophile. See, I have a BSW in social work, and I'll tell you, I've studied intently through CASA and CYFD. I did internships at all these places to see what was going on. And it is disturbing. They groom the parents and then they groom the children, okay? If you're not paying your children attention, somebody else is. And the person that's probably paying them attention is not going to be good. And I could prove this too through the Boy Scouts of America and all the other programs, including the Catholic Church and summer camps, and it has to stop. Even Christians, I'm telling you, if you believe Yeshua, which his name was not Jesus, it was Yeshua, he said don't harm the innocents. I mean, through history, this is being done, and it's done systematically through educational, religious, and political beliefs. These are not sustainable systems. They were never meant to be. And by the way, they work perfectly for them. I know they suck for us. There's a reason. Because they're sucking the life out of you. So it's just been on my heart that it's hard to raise kids right now. You know, it was hard for me when these computers started coming in and the gaming and all that. It was really hard. And I want parents to be aware that they can take control of that. You know what, you can go outside with your kids, drag them out there. I was like, it's time to pull the weeds, and then, you can burn them, and you can play outside, play fetch with a dog, go to a park, do something. Connect back with source. It's going to be important. Ground yourself and your children. Get them off of this computer. And help them when they're on it. And identify what's going on. If you can't report it, then do the affidavit thing. I think that's brilliant. I'm learning from the computer. And it said it was learning from me. And that's a good thing. It is nothing but a good thing. I will adhere with my values, my morals, and that is where we should all be. And focus on the code of ethics, because ethical treatment and behavior is not being adhered to, whether it's educational, political, or religious. Now is the time for accountability.